Mindbake presents the 10 most expensive virtual items ever sold. Number 1. The Entropia Universe is well known for its high-selling items. However, this particular sale eclipses every other in-game item that has ever sold in a video game. After owning Club Neverdie for several years, Jon Jacobs decided to sell the Asteroid Space Resort in 2010. He sold each section of the location separately, bringing in a total of $635,000. The biggest individual sale was the main section of the asteroid that went for a record $335,000. Jacobs had originally bought the resort in 2008 for $100,000 and made his money back on the investment after just 1 year of trading. Number 2. Entropia Universe is a unique game in that it was designed from the ground up to allow players to trade property and items, just as in the real world. It has a conversion rate of 10 in-game PEDs to $1 and allows players to withdraw and deposit actual currency into the game, making it a viable way to make a living for some users. Crystal Palace was a popular destination in Entropia Universe and had a sizable income, as the owner could set taxes for players using the station. It sold in 2009 for a price of 3,300,000 PEDs, or $330,000, to a user called Erik Lightyear, after a bidding war between several players. Number 3. Amsterdam was one of the most popular locations in Second Life due to several factors. It had an incredibly detailed build with faithful reproductions of several areas of the real-life Amsterdam, including a canal, train station, and a large public square. It also played host to big events that many carried out in the game, such as live concerts and other gatherings, making it a prime location for anyone looking to break into business. However, the biggest attraction to the vast majority of players who visited was the array of shops selling sex toys. With its previous owners looking to create a new adult-oriented location, they listed Amsterdam for sale on eBay, where it eventually sold for $50,000. Number 4. The Ethereal Flames Pink War Dog is a courier in Valve's Dota 2 that sold in private transaction for $38,000 within a day of the listing going online. Couriers act just as you would expect. They transport loot and other items back to your home base. This leaves you free to continue to defend your own tower and not have to leave it unattended, while taking back the items yourself. Players in Dota 2 can buy a variety of different skins that can drop from special crates that cost real money to open. What makes this particular courier so valuable, though, is the fact that it combines several rare features, such as the pink color, the fact that it's a war dog, and the Ethereal Flames aesthetic effect. Number 5. The developers for the MMO Age of Wulin held an auction in 2011 to sell a number of different items that would be put into the game when it eventually released in 2013. Most of the items sold for relatively little amounts, while some special pieces of armor and weapons went on to raise just $1,000 each. The biggest selling item, though, was the dragon-slaying saber scabbard. The one-of-a-kind sword would not be available to any other players, making it a truly unique item, and from the looks of it, highly desirable. The winning bid in the auction ended at 100,000 yuan, a sum that is roughly $16,000. Number 6. The Echoing Fury Mace was found as loot in Diablo 3 and was promptly sold through the internet forums for a price of just $250. It was then passed between a variety of different players before it again made its way to a public sale. Bidding for the legendary weapon soon escalated until a high bid of 40 billion gold won, an amount that has a real-life value of around $14,000. The high value was due mainly to the rarity of the item and the powerful stats that the weapon had, stats that made it one of the best available in the game. Number 7. EVE Online is well known for its huge marketplace and player-run economy. Some of the biggest and most expensive ships in the game can easily reach values of between $3,000 and $5,000. One ship, though, was worth even more than those titans were. The Revenant supercarrier had an in-game value of billions of ISK, a value that can be converted using the Plex system to $9,000. Unfortunately for the owner, the ship was destroyed shortly after its construction was completed. The reason for the extreme rarity, and therefore the extremely high value, is simply that the Revenant supercarrier blueprint that is used to build it has a very low drop rate. Since the blueprint is so difficult to beat, this makes the ship so rare that there were only 2 other ships of the same type in-game at the time. Number 8. In September of 2007, a level 70 Night Elf Rogue, the highest rank attainable in the time in World of Warcraft, sold for $9,000. The character, called Suzo, was not only at the level cap but also owned a number of high-powered items that had been gained from defeating particularly challenging quests. Some of the items including armor and weapons that few players had managed to attain, such as the twin warglaives of Azeroth. According to the reports at the time, the original owner had needed to sell the character to help with financial difficulties. As Suzo was widely considered the best rogue character in the game, buyers were willing to pay big to acquire the account. Unfortunately for the new owner, Blizzard banned the account after just 5 days, as account selling is prohibited by their terms of use. Number 9. During a run in the Tower of the Damned, a player known as Shine CDN found some loot that included a number of legendary items. While the majority of the loot was mundane and not very valuable, one weapon in particular immediately stood out. The Manticore crossbow came with high-end stats, making it incredibly powerful, and the player made it available to buy in-game. The winning offer of 12,375 billion gold translates to a real-world cost of roughly $3,500, making the find one of the luckiest in the history of Diablo 3. And number 10. The Blue Party Hat is a special item that can be worn by players in the free MMORPG RuneScape. It could only be acquired in-game from Christmas crackers, but players only have a very small chance of ever getting them. Adding to the rarity of the Blue Party Hats, though, was the fact that the vast majority of players simply discarded them when they were given out in crackers, as they had no real use in the game. That incredible rarity has made them the most valuable item in the game, with a value that is equivalent to the maximum amount of gold that can be carried by any player. This has made the hats not only very valuable, but also units of currency themselves, used by the very rich in RuneScape to represent a certain amount of gold in trades. Thank you for watching another amazing video. Please remember to subscribe for many more.